Hello, scholars. Welcome back. This is week 2 of POL450, Research Methods for Political Science. I hope that you all had an enjoyable 4th of July weekend. And now as we change gears and get back to the work week, we are introduced to our second week of this course. So in week 1, we talked about, we looked at a bunch of research topics that we could potentially use for our research project and to write our research prospectus. And if you remember from our first week video how I talked how this course is built on modules, how you build one piece after another, and eventually we're going to put all those pieces together, and that's going to be our prospectus. There is an exception though, and that's here in week 2. Week 2, we're going to divert from those building blocks, and we're going to talk about the IRB, the Institutional Review Board process. Critical that we understand this as we move forward in academic research and understand the parameters and maybe the rules, the ruling board that governs the type of research that we're going to be doing, and the type of research that many of your fellow professors have all gone through this IRB process. So that's what we're going to do this week, is take a break from the building blocks. In week 3, we're going to then start back up, and the weeks to come, 4, 5, 6, and 7, will all be those building blocks, pieces to put together our perspectives. But here in week 2, we're going to take that slight detour and talk about this IRB process. So in our week 2 agenda, we're going to have our reading assignment, which is going to be the CBU IRB handbook, and I'll show you how we can navigate to that. We got a PowerPoint lecture on the ethics of research. Then we should continue to work on our annotated bibliography research. That will be due later, but any topics that you look for, that any research you do that is correlated or connected to your topics, always keep track of those, because we'll want to keep those together for annotated bibliography. And then we have 3 assignments this week. Our written assignment 2, which is on IRB guidelines, an application exercise 2 on ethical dilemmas, and a discussion board. So let's get started. So the first thing is our reading assignment, which is our CBU guidelines. So to get that, we need to navigate to inside CBU, and then to the Provost tab, and then to the Institutional Review Board link, and then the full text IRB. So here I am on my inside CBU. I've navigated to the Institutional Review Board on the Provost tab, and you can see that there's a link here for current handbook. And when I open up the current handbook, it's going to look like this: the Institutional Review Board IRB handbook. And several pages, what do we got? About 66 pages that we're going to read through, navigate through, so that we have an understanding of the IRB process. Now, when I first started here at CBU, I started here at grad school, and I had really never done a whole lot of research. And that was the very first time I was introduced to the IRB process. I didn't even know it existed. I didn't even know that there was such a thing. I had always heard of governing bodies over medical research and the ethics and controlling, the subjects and what the researchers are doing to human subjects, but I never knew that crossed the line to our social science type of research as well. But then quickly I was introduced to the logic and the reasons behind. And ultimately, the IRB, the Institutional Review Board, is here to protect the human subjects. Not so much to protect you as the researcher, but to protect those that you are doing research on, the people you are asking questions, to ensure that their identities are confidential, that you're not asking questions of protected classes of individuals, so that you're not manipulating individuals into different type of research to get your answers. So that's the whole logic behind the Institutional Review Board. We have the handbook. In the handbook, we're going to utilize for our written assignment and our application assignments. So that'll be, you'll want to go through that in detail. And then there's a PowerPoint lecture that kind of talks about some of the research in ethics and some of the deviations of ethical research that we have had in the past. And so it's important that we go over the PowerPoint lecture, go over our CBU full text IRB handbook, and then before we navigate into our 3 assignments for this week. So let's talk about our first assignment. Our first deliverable this week is going to be written assignment number 2, our IRB guidelines. So as we click into that, we can see that this is going to be due on July 12th, Sunday, 11:59. So like all of our assignments, Sunday at 11:59, it's a 25-point assignment. And after reviewing all this week's videos and downloading the CBU IRB handbook, please answer the following questions. And I have a series of questions here, and I just want a short answer question to each one of these. What is the CBU Institutional Review Board? How many members are on the CBU IRB? What is the general rule concerning research at CBU? What does a student researcher need to seek, or when does a student researcher need to seek IRB approval? What are the three main categories for human participants research at CBU, and how do they differ? What items must be included in an expedited research IRB application? What is an informed consent, and what information must be included in it? And what is the assent from minors form, and when must it be used? So what I'd like you to do is just spell out that question, and then underneath each, give me a detailed answer. That's simple. Submissions require that you complete all components of this, and we need college level writing through correct grammar, spelling, APA citations, and references. So 25 points. You can see the grading criteria, which I just went over in the rubric. And once again, by Sunday at 11:59. So you got the 1 week to get this completed, and this will be our written assignment 2, IRB guidelines. So now let's look at our application exercise this week. Remember, application exercises are quizzes in essence, but this one differs a little bit. I have included 3 different videos: the Tuskegee syphilis studies, the Stanford prison experiment, and the Milgram obedience study. And I want you to view each of the videos posted below and answer the following questions. The first one is, what specific violations of CBU's Institutional Review Board policy do you find in each of these cases? And how could the information found in each of these studies be researched in a way that would comply with accepted ethical practices? So I want you to break down each one of these. I want you to talk to me about what specific violations did each one of these, and some of them are very, very flagrant violations, very unethical types of studies, but I want you to break it down specifically on what violations when it pertains to our Institutional Review Board policy. And then, would it be possible for these studies to be done through compliance and with accepted ethical practices, and how could these studies have been performed ethically? What information would they need to disclose and whatnot? So for the 3 studies, I would like you to complete or view each one of these videos and answer both questions for each one of these. Once again, Sunday at 11:59 on the 12th, 25 points. The first 15 points is that you submit based upon all the requirements, and the 10 additional points is that it's at college level, writing through correct grammar, spelling, APA citations, and references. And finally, this week we have our first discussion board. And for our discussion board, use the discussion board to discuss the videos and your personal reaction to the 3 studies reviewed for week 2 application assignment. So a fairly open-end introduction discussion board. I just want you to discuss and your personal reaction to the 3 studies. Now remember, discussion boards are important to me because discussion boards replace the communication, the dialogue that we would have if we were in a classroom. So I expect each one of our discussion boards to have sustenance, to have depth, to have academic, that you're introducing academic thought and that we're talking as if we were having dialogue within the classroom. That's why your post needs to be at least 300 words. And I'm not a big word count critic, but I do believe that 300 words would be the minimum for you to post a academic question or discussion to your various colleagues. And then I need you to answer 2 of your or respond to 2 of your colleagues. And what I do have a pet peeve over is I don't want I agree with, or good point, or great point, or I agree with you. I want you to add to the academic discussion. I want some depth in your responses. Because remember, this is replacing us being in the classroom. Now, These are due by Sunday the 12th at 11:59. There is no late work ever for discussion boards because the whole, in essence, this is a discussion amongst the group, and once the due date is over, no one else can discuss with you. So that's why we have no late work. Please enter your first post early in the week so that it gives all your colleagues an opportunity to add to the discussion. But remember, 300 words for our first post, 2 additional to get full credit. And once again, watch the videos, your reaction to the 3 videos, and I look forward to hearing the depth of our conversation from this discussion board. So there you have it. That is week 2 of POL 450. 3 deliverables, all based upon our IRB and these ethical dilemmas. I look forward to, I will grade all of your work on Monday, on the 6th this week, so I can get that back to you, so you can start navigating through your topics. I typically will always do, stumbling on my words. I typically will do my grading on Monday, and I will grade all of our work on Monday. Even if you turn things in earlier in the week, I do one long sit-down session. I grade all of our work. I'll get it back to you. So that will be tomorrow evening, so we can start working on our topics. But take some time, look through your IRB, look through the IRB handbook, get a good understanding of these policies. Like I said earlier, this was all brand new to me. I had no idea that this even existed. So take the time. I look forward. If you have any questions, comments, concerns with the course, with week 2, with week 1, always get a hold of me, email me. I don't think there's anything we cannot navigate through, but we can never navigate through a problem if we don't know about it. I use the premise that if I'm not hearing from you, I have the assumption that everything's going great until I hear from you. So let me know if you have any problems or concerns. So stay healthy. I know that the COVID is quite the topic. Many of us are having to deal with it firsthand. It's all around of us, so please make great decisions or good decisions. Take care of yourself, take care of those around you, and I look forward to talking to all of you again next week. So bye for now.